In the bushes, Yu Ah-rin promptly ran up and shouted to call her husband's name. But then she saw the man in her heart was just keep quiet when practicing qigong. It's early in the morning but he's been practicing so hard, it's not surprising that he's the man of his life. And when he took a closer look, Ah-rin realized how can anyone have their luck and energy reversed like that. Because he was worried that Namgung-mae would become disabled, he deliberately went to express his desire to practice dual cultivation for happiness. When he was about to get close, the storm sword stopped him. I really don't know how long he's been here. I thought it would be easy for just two people to do business and all, but Ah-rin gave up that idea. Namgung-mae tried to hold on to the two streams of internal energy, but it seemed that the huge mass of energy was too much. The reverse flow of air dispersed everywhere, creating powerful blows that destroyed the entire ground. No, if we keep our physical bodies like this, will we lose our husband in this life? Yu Ah-rin brushed off the dragon-class master's hand and ran to support Namgung-mae. The reversal force exploded again, causing his body followed the force of inertia and flew backwards. Fortunately, her two muscular arms were able to hug her weak body, which had bruises on it. There was a child who was in dire need of pure ice, so I risked my life to come here to borrow it for a while. That thing was a dangerous item, but the leader didn't worry too much because Ju Duk-hwa's children chose it. Not average. So he's not as stuck as rumored. Did you give me permission to take him away? I'm sure you understand the information about this item, but there's no way you can borrow it with your bare hands. It sounds like there's going to be a small exchange, so it's true that the longer you live, the better you'll be. Sinister and unpredictable. Back inside the dark secret room, only the young couple were groping. Ever since then, Ah-rin still refused to hold her husband's hand even though she really wanted to. Because it was too dark, Namgung-mae just thought of taking him out quickly, but if he stood and waited, he wouldn't see clear ice until morning. The air was a bit cold and musty and was being burned by something, so he also made both of them sweat. Ah-rin's face was red with embarrassment since she left the customs to the White Martial Arts Hall until now this beauty doesn't know what a man smells like. I'm sorry, it's so rude, it's so natural, holding hands is too weird, so let's stop. Namgung-mae is also quite a gentleman, so he just loosened his clothes for his classmate to hold and the two continued their journey. Yu Ah-rin shedding tears of regret. She blamed herself for being fat to the point of a cat's mouth. Why did she have to be so stupid when she ate? Ignoring the matter of men and women, this woman immediately asked the fifth young master why he could see without the light. On the way, Master Ryu Yian also complimented my eyes quite well and is also trying to find a skill that can sense a small amount of true energy. Why is my vision so sharp that my master said that the eyes are the factor? The most important thing in real combat is. Ah-rin's fate is so lucky that the man in my life is truly a special and extraordinary person. The young couple walked for a while before the last steps ahead. Right next to the wall, an open door appeared, revealing a small amount of light. Not only the light but also the cold air from pure ice somewhere, although quite a bit. Fortunately, it was safe because the leader did not install any traps here. Namgung-mae sniffed and then used all his strength to push open the door separating him from the outside. There was no need to see the pure ice without stepping into the piercing cold. Bones had invaded every corner. Deep inside the center of the vast room, pure ice hovered above a glowing incense burner. With those first slow steps, the more he walked, the more he felt too cold. The cold air from the pure ice makes the man's body want to fall into many pieces. Turning to Ah-rin, she has been silent since opening the door and also walks slowly like a person. Lost my soul. Is this aura too strong? Is it okay, Miss Ah-rin? Not receiving an answer when I turned around, my eyes were glowing. No matter what I said, I remained absolutely silent. Previously, Ah-rin told the story of how she was almost frozen while entering Na-mi's unconscious kinetic technique. The first sign of being invaded by pure ice was her eyes glowing and her mind being controlled. This is too dangerous, Namgung-mae screamed to stay awake, but that was not enough. Lady, please don't come closer because it's very dangerous, he tried to tease her to attract attention. Response: it was a very strange action because his fist was swinging to crush his beloved husband. Unconsciously, to defend, Namgung-mae raised his hands to block, but it didn't seem to be very effective. Normally this beautiful woman already stronger than an elephant, now with pure ice to increase its strength, nothing can stand it. The force of the push was so great that it caused Namgung to slide on the slick ice and the weight of that punch. The whole body flew unconsciously and then collapsed towards the wall. Otherwise, it would have flown even further. The ice fragments that began to fall into space also shook slightly, making it difficult to detect. I was able to block the punch, but was the trauma still this severe? Need to find the best way to stop Ah Rin before she touches the pure ice. The male lead's body glows because he is using the flow of air to block the opponent's legs. Because the floor is slippery too much, so the approaching speed now won't be as fast as the outside environment. The closer she is to pure ice, Ah Rin's body is about to freeze from her fingertips to her entire hand. Two streams of air are overflowing, the positive energy rushes in at the exact moment she is slowly embracing the treasure. The only way here is to punch Ah Rin once to make Ah Rin unconscious and then take her outside and close the door. But in a moment, Namgung really doesn't want to take action. Besides Eun Ryong, there's no one as good as Ah Rin, so I can't bear to trample her. Damn it, I can't just punch her like that. If he knew later, he wouldn't have the face to face him. With his weak thinking, Namgung had to pay a very heavy price. Ah Rin grabbed his wrist tightly, then pulled it down and thrust it hard. The cold ice ground. Yes, this is the near future if the two of them become friends in the future. Beat them to pieces. Ah Rin continues to move towards pure ice because now no one can stop her again. Master Na Mi's success in creating jade ice and jade bones has been greatly influenced by ice and snow. Therefore, it is not difficult to understand that the subordinate Emmy is so eager to take over. Ice pure. Or maybe it is ice pure that is the magnet that attracts that internal mind technique, causing most people to lose their reason. Namgung saw that he couldn't use physical impact, so he turned to hug that hard body, tried not to let her get too close to danger. Please don't touch it or I will do something very rude. Ah Rin shouted with bright eyes as if she was also fighting to regain control of his body. Outside, the two masters were still leisurely drinking, but the storm of swords was unfamiliar. Because he was too upset, he only asked to finish the cup. I am curious and now I have to do this troublesome thing, my lord. Just as the glass of wine was brought to his lips, suddenly the senses jumped up, startling this person. Right at the location of the study room, there is an extremely large source of strange energy appearing in that secret room. If Kwon Yoon is sitting in front, then only the children are the ones doing it. I really don't know what they are plotting. The loud scream from the secret room spread to the outside. With a body that was not very big, Namgung was pulled away by the weight of his girlfriend. He should have been hit on the back of the head to make him unconscious from the beginning. But now I don't have time to think. If I don't find a solution, Ah Rin will freeze after touching pure ice. This person said before that if he touches the ice with his bare hands, he will unconsciously die. I can't let Miss Ah Rin be in danger. The range of approaching the ice is very close when the cold air was trying to tear them both apart. I thought the break-in mission would be a good way to absorb the gas, but ironically it was beyond calculation. Namgung was able to think of a temporary solution, so he immediately let go. Ah Rin, the two accelerated to touch the pure ice because everyone had a desire for the treasure. The choice was extremely slim because the storm sword itself had warned not to touch. Taking advantage, then he pushed Ah Rin hard to the side and then grabbed the cold piece of ice with his hand. The effect of the cold air immediately reversed and poured all the way inside. Namgung didn't have time to express his emotions and then everything turned white. Fragments of memories suddenly appeared right in front of the viewer's screen. That year when he was about to die due to trying to eliminate the poison in the prescription, her mother still has no regrets. She looked at her sobbing little youngest son and comforted her. It's okay, don't be like that. It's only because of you that everything turned out like this. Namgung the lady held her son's hand. Her face was covered with bruises and veins, showing signs that her life was about to end. Before leaving, she told her everything and told her that this was not her fault. Child. Namgung afterimage appeared right at the scene of the separation of yin and yang between him and his mother. It's hard to understand why it was pure ice that brought me here. The scene flashed again outside after the family announced that the eldest lady had not survived due to a serious illness. The eldest brother was the angriest as he brutally beat the youngest brother to the ground and landed in the fields. Namgung, tears welling up in my eyes, blaming Namgung Mae for everything. You are the main cause of our mother's death and the source of the weakening of the Namgung family. All the sins in the world are related to at that time. Everything related to the family was thrown at the weak youngest son. At first, the father also kept his distance because of the sadness of losing his wife after many years of hardships. Also from this incident, the distance between the 5 young masters and the other brothers and sisters became more and more distant. Inside the Dandine, chaos arose again when the evil aura appeared. For the past few months, he did not understand why do you think that when you return, you think that the reverse flow of cloud energy has successfully eliminated it? There is a voice inside your heart. Have you returned to the place where you originally belonged? You must have forgotten something. It's important, but I haven't remembered it for a long time. Soon I think you'll be able to remember everything that happened. There's a secret that Namgung Mae can't find deep in her memory. But there's not enough time left because the cold air is quickly invading the Dantian. From a tiny dot in the middle here, it has swelled up like it's about to fill the whole body. Back to reality, pure ice fits in the palm of the male lead's hand. However, it will not be easy to tame because contrary to its small form, the volume of cold air is extremely huge. The impact force is so strong that Yu Ren, who wants to compete for the robbery, is pushed back. While planning to stand up and fight for the robbery, the cat-class disciple slipped and hit his head on the floor and fainted. So no one bothered Namgung Mae and leisurely enjoyed the cold air of pure ice. Right away, at that moment, the dragon-class master panicked and ran over to check the situation. His eyes glanced around and stopped at the center, which couldn't have been more surprising. Obviously I warned him not to touch it, but now it voluntarily touches the pure ice. The situation is too dangerous. Ju Duk Hua rushes to stop it. If Ryu Yian comes back and learns that his true disciple died in this secret room, he will have no choice but to run away. You should quickly drop the ice block right away, he screamed but could not approach. This thing's reaction force is too strong. The more you try to approach, the more it will be pushed back like 2 magnets. What should we do? This child is about to freeze to death. Even though he really wants to keep it, it's too slow. Before being absorbed, Ju Duk Hwa's luck wants to destroy the ice crystal. Mister, I use my claw to disperse with hot yang energy to break through the defense layer to attack pure ice. Although the strike is simple, I don't understand how it instantly crushed that cold and terrible thing. What a lucky body. But Namgung Mae also did not stand still in one place but shot out to another place. Fragments were about to gather. Ju Duk Hwa quickly used the void photographer to adjust the ice a bit. Things gradually change. It was okay, but it seemed like he had scratched it too hard, leaving only a tiny piece the size of a cucumber. Paying a little closer attention, he blamed himself for having done something wrong. Not really. Namgung Mae was frozen or possessed, but it was the opposite. When he was almost done absorbing, with that action the storm sword ruined a good thing. The giant cold thing was lying peacefully inside the Dantian and glowing. The boy has absorbed all the pieces of pure star ice. This source of energy is too great for him to withstand. Let's make sure of our opinion. Ju Duk Hwa come and use the internal ultrasound to see if that's true. Indeed, there is indeed a cold air inside that is taking over so much that the reverse flow of the semen and explosive qi all run away. The heat of the internal the gong is burning all the small pieces that are trying to penetrate fully. But no, the dragon master is a step behind because the mouse is still in the cave. If you try to pull it out now, the 5 gongs will the son of the Namgung family is not very good, let's see. Very quickly the cold energy became stable and then slept peacefully inside the Dandine. How the hell was it able to assimilate with this boy's spirit so quickly? That's it. There are 2 choices. If you pull out, you will die, and if you don't pull out, you will probably die in the future. The storm sword sighs, it's also fate, consider yourself lucky, kid. Having said that, he used the true energy of the Dantian to help Namgung Mae regulate and withstand the cold. With the flow of internal energy from the flowing true body, Each piece of ice was condensed and then gathered into one corner. Basically, the male lead's current cultivation level will not be able to do it like thanks to the storm. Everything will be easier. With Master Ryu Yeon, it will be even more leisurely. The pieces of ice will rotate and connect to create pure ice. Inside the body, the outside is hot and the inside is cold, but absolutely no conflict appears at this moment. The freezing air is gradually being cooled down due to the heat of the Dragon Master. With the thickness, experience is not too difficult for him to control for snake class students. If he were a few steps slower, this Namgung kid would probably be me. Ju Duk Hwa breathed out cold air and sweated. He pondered many opposing things, although it was okay but still not okay. If you can't control it, the negative energy will clog the meridians and cause shortness of breath. But if you can do that, then this is the destiny of this brat. After thinking about it, the Storm Sword pulled out the notebook that records the list of talented people in the world. As long as Namgung Mae can master the ice, he can temporarily one of the candidates to become a true disciple. Because he was the first to commit a break-in to temporarily borrowed treasures, he is now also the one to clean up. And Rin's huge body too. How can I carry it out after cleaning? Later, the martial arts master himself went down to the secret room to check to see if the storm sword was stolen. Even though it was still intact, it had been there for a long time. I didn't go into the room, so I was a bit confused. It seems like the size has decreased compared to when the gift was given to me, or maybe I'm old and docile. At the same time, outside, it's very far away from Hebei City. An unaccompanied horse carriage is slowly moving in the dead of night. Behind is dragging a cage with children chained by their limbs. The old man silently nudges the animal's butt to speed up to the designated location. As soon as they arrived at the city gate, the two guards loudly felt dissatisfied because they were going so slowly like a turtle. Usually they would arrive in the evening, but it's past 2 a.m. It's okay, it's safe. The old driver explained that it was because the tire was flat, but one guy shouted, "Don't stand in the way, just step aside." The other guy asked about his friend. "What do you guys think about this new batch of goods? The kids look so weak, I'm sure no one can survive this test. We'll be scolded again. If the test is a sloppy one," he reminded the coachman to lock the cage door tightly and then lead the allowed horse inside. The carriage slowly moved through the main gate and it was hard to know where this was. After going in a little, there began to be some. The guy walked over, opened the door, and arranged to go in line. They kept urging the children to hurry up. Anyone who didn't listen to me showed the king of hell. "Hey old man, before leaving this place, please take the corpses and dispose of them." Listening to the song, he looked around and saw dozens of corpses lying on mats, guessing that they were all underage children. The old man coughed, then said, yes, please rest assured, gentlemen. Tonight's work seems to be finished, but it seems the driver doesn't want to leave yet. Normally, he would always be busy, but hey, what's so strange about today? If you pay close attention behind the torn hat, it seems like this person is wearing a human skin mask. Because it's dark, no one notices him taciturnly following the soldiers leading the crowd. The child went deep inside. It turned out that from the beginning the real person was still somewhere else and the disguise was also very professional. Ash Tree personally went to investigate and discovered that this was the place where blood inflammation monotonic pills were sold. Out the most. First I'll save all the children and find out what they're planning. It's hard to recognize except for the short appearance due to being shy, so that mask looks very handsome. Ash Tree disappeared into the night to continue the mission. In the stronghold in the prison where there are all kinds of torture. The children were brought before at this hour, they are also being brutally tortured. If they do not follow the instructions of the oppressor, the children will be beaten to death. The general manager is recording the victim's symptoms after using the medicine. It has some effect when used on people who don't know martial arts at all. On the contrary, the person next to him is a martial artist, so he is always crazy. That expression is no different from when he saw the leader of the Shami gang personally massacre the disciples in the gang. The chain is made of special metal, so I wish you luck many times in the future. Having finished speaking, he reminded his subordinates to give the bastard here's one pill to ease the attacks. Those actions were all in the eyes of the Ash Tree. So they were secretly testing the effects of the blood inflammation on iron. If this place has any with such a large amount of medicinal pills, I will surely find the source soon. While waiting for the medicine to take effect, a guard with the children also came over. He informed the general manager and then directed at the children, every single one of them cowered so scared that they couldn't scream. This was a different number than originally expected, so he quite liked it. Ages from 15 to 17 will be very interesting. It's useful, but we also need to see what happens to the younger kids. He took the pill and went to the innocent little girl who was curious. He forced her to open her mouth and swallow it, otherwise her nails would be pulled out. His feet almost made him cry. Fortunately, another servant ran in to report that the order containing the blood inflammation mono capsule had arrived. Sir, the partner has arrived, so I will personally go meet him. They. As expected, Ashtray impatiently wanted to follow. I will be back soon. If you don't want to do anything, just give everyone a drink. After giving the order, he leisurely clasped his hands behind his back and whistled and left to meet the transporter. On the ceiling the ashtray moved gently and hid in each wall. If he had this information he would definitely be accepted. Ryu Yeon's father paid a lot of money. And the fate of those weak children seemed to be arranged. They all screamed and writhed, "Please shut up and blame your parents for selling them." Before he could take 2 steps, Ashtray pondered about safety. Since he was about to leave, he clearly said to himself that he must save innocent people. If he didn't do it, he would be so wrong. Now this is important information. More than these lives. There is no shortage of men and women in the world. I promise that next time if I have free time, I will save you. Biting his lips and grinding his teeth, he quickly walked away to keep up with the general manager because he was about to lose track of them. Go back to jail, you bastard, you resisted well, or should I give you a few punches? Having said that, he grabbed the youngest and the loudest kid by the neck and slapped his ear a few times. The sound of hitting people echoed continuously, making the viewers feel heartbroken because it was so pitiful. Ashtray had no choice but to turn around and stop it because his conscience couldn't accept it. When he was thinking about breaking all his teeth, he promptly squeezed the villain's wrist. Thinking back, the mission is no longer my top priority. The human skin mask has been taken off, now I still belong to darkness. It's not like he's on duty all day long. When the guard saw someone on duty, he immediately shouted to warn his comrades. As soon as he opened his mouth, a heavy punch hit his face and broke it. The bridge of your nose faints and wakes up. Having said that, you still have a long way to go to know who I am, now endure the pain. Outside, the general manager is very satisfied because the amount of goods this time is too large compared to calculations. Besides, the delivery guy is indeed young and talented, but I'm not too concerned about that issue anymore. This quantity is enough for 100 people. What will happen if the martial arts world becomes chaos? When he was about to return to the prison to continue torturing the children, there was a noise. Right on the way down to the place where the unknown victim was being held, his entire body was blown away by a very strong force. Black. Unfortunately, some of the broken pieces fell onto the carriage containing the goods. The blood flame pills fell from the ground, causing him to panic. If he damaged these pills, the superiors will definitely cut off the blood and take care of the entire family. Ashtray came out like a god and greeted politely. The transaction was completed, right? I'm sure you know a lot of information. It's worth the money. In the end, you've wasted so many pills. His mouth looks like it's made of steel. His face hides his ghostly appearance, but he looks like a 7-year-old child. Guy the general manager, you bastard, who are you to dare to destroy? Throw the corpses of evil soldiers into the ashtray and want to eat him right away. Maybe it's been a long time and you don't remember when I want to be arrogant after seeing this face. What the hell is he talking about? The general manager waved his hand and several security guards ran out with swords to block the way. The life-killing soul coin appeared on the ashtray's hand. If you don't know, it's best that you all die. In the blink of an eye, dozens of people the coin shot out both causes damage and causes the opponent to lose sight. Why is that bastard still standing here? Hurry up and stop it. Receiving the master's order, the 3 martial artists aggressively drew their swords. Jumped in and wanted to split the ashtray into many pieces. It seemed like they really forgot about the black-clothed people wearing demon masks, so their actions were too stupid. Before they could get close enough to do anything, their bodies fell apart one by one. Was beaten to pieces by the force of the palm. The pursued rays shot out dozens of rays, creating a death spiral that made death unbelievably painful. Pieces of bodies fell down, making the general manager tremble with fear. He was so scared that he didn't dare to cough. Now he was alone and the former member of the Black Flower organization. Ash Tree was already angry and slowly approached to ask if he had anything to deny before he died. I don't care about your business, but touching children is too much. A familiar blue aura appeared on his palm. While he was still sleeping. If you know anything, death will be like a noose hanging around your neck. This action is definitely intended to stop the real imposter Ryu Yeon, because as long as he has complete information, he will appear. The stronghold area is large. Most of the large trees were destroyed by ash trees to the point where their identities were unrecognizable. Master Ryu Yeon also came but only observed from afar inside the forest. Previously, the servant had given wrong information, so this time he wanted to blame a bit. But if I think about it, I need to wait a little longer because my head hurts. Soon the scene was in chaos, leaving only the children inside. Ash Tree is currently cleaning up and wants to take all the refunds into his hands to bring home and sell to make money. Master appears and complains about how you can make this place such a mess. Always shooting coins out and then picking them up again looks like a lot of work. Please find something else that has no value to use as a weapon. My martial arts are money and bullets, at least I have to perform them in a way that matches my name, leader, right? Just picked up a few coins and suddenly Ash Tree spoke up as my master. Feeling that the image of the kidnapped children made this person secretly sympathize. Has time passed so long, has this person become older than me? He's right because the members of the Black Flower die are all orphans without father or mother. Wherever there is blood inflammation unerring, that fake bastard Ryu Yeon will appear. I wonder if you often mention him when you meet him. Is this really Ryu Yeon? Ash Tree listened and bowed his head, denying that I didn't understand what he was talking about. If you keep lying to me over and over again to make money, your life will only last today. As you can see, leader, I think the circulation of the medicinal pill has changed, so I'm going to investigate now. The blood inflammation single pill is quite important and now it is spreading throughout the Central Plains in large numbers. Large amount. Are you saying that the connection between the medicinal pill and the fake Ryu Yeon is gradually fading? That's true, it seems like we're tracking him down because this guy is the culprit of many massacres. But from the subordinate's point of view, the blood inflammation unit is the center of everything. Problem. To put it simply, Ash Tree feels like an invisible hand is manipulating. As soon as I collect more information, I will immediately send the leader a letter reporting the situation. Why have you not returned to your true role as a teacher until now? This statement makes a lot of sense, but the master secretly regrets the blood and inflammation pills falling all over the ground. It's been 2 weeks since I left, maybe it's time for me to return to the children. Just like that, without saying goodbye, the master took the initiative to leave but did not forget to warn his subordinates. Even though he had reminded him many times before, Ash Tree had to tell him a few times before he remembered. Don't lie about the fake Ryu Yeon information or I will chop you into 1,000 pieces. The two of you parted ways again, but soon you will meet again after your first meeting. Watching the leader leave going deep into Ash Tree's heart, he is struggling. He has plenty of information about the fake Ryu Yeon, but now there are difficulties. The Black Orchid is the one who pretended to be because he was angry at his corruption. Witchcraft, but at this time the two should not meet. Not far away, hooded men with their faces covered and leading horses is the unit transporting the complete package. It takes a lot of time to get there. This place, and when the transaction was completed, they also received information that the receiving area was attacked. Some guys really wanted to investigate the perpetrator, but above all, this was not the most optimal thing. That was the place. We just finished buying and selling. Why don't you come down and collect the loot, brother? Don't worry about it, don't you know it will take half a month to get home? After being expelled from school, Tang Wei-ju was given permission by his tutor. Working as a bodyguard, Tangmon Sichuan must have something to do with this issue because that family knows how to prepare medicinal herbs. Speaking of Namgung Mae's old friend, the previous trip back home sounded very sad. The homeowner heard that his son was expelled from school and didn't know where to dig a hole to hide in to avoid humiliation. Worth it if it weren't for this incident, Tang Wei-ju would definitely be worthy of taking the position of small family head. The events that occurred made Tang Jigik, even though he was the father, unable to forgive his son's sins. To come up with a reason for being expelled from the dojo, the boy thought of a million tricks. Dear homeowner, because Namgung Mae used tricks, I was forced to choose the 8 great poisons. Don, I mean, it's allowed. But how can the head of the Tang sect believe what his subordinates reported? Even though you used heat death poison, which is one of the 8 great poisons, you still lost to the child who is considered a disgrace to Nam Gung of the family. The children and sausages raised for food reported harm, he shouted, radiating an aura as if he wanted to kill him to be angry. On the first day of school, he ate and drank dozens of trays of pigs, chickens, buffaloes, cows, and meat enough to treat guests. But now he's like a dog with his tail between his legs in the house. With his cold-blooded nature, only when Tang Wei-ju makes a difference will his father calm down, otherwise it's certain. What will outsiders think? Come back to the family home and come back here without even bothering to take revenge on him. That's right, because according to the rules, if good is rewarded for good, evil is returned for evil, but when Tangmon returns kindness, it's 10 times more. If there's resentment, it's returned 100 times. Tang Jigik called his son a disgrace to the Tang sect, so he immediately demoted him from being a small householder. Don't explain too much, just disappear quickly before I can't control myself. So Tang Wei-ju's fate ended as the head of the family. He also had his own sufferings, but above all, losing in a fight was wrong from the beginning. The family's affairs are one. After finishing the pile, it was his son who took advantage of it. The homeowner secretly regretted that in the past he was born and strangled him to death. Then he turned to ask the strategist how the current source of goods was now. Dear homeowner, source, the palace in the family is being carried out without any obstacles. Tang Su-ha felt urgent, so he immediately mentioned his partner who was urgently urging the production of extremely large quantities. This must be there as a reason. It's not natural that the demon sect would force the Tang sect to do so. It seems they are being hunted down after discovering their whereabouts, so that side is asking for help distributing goods. This method helps distract those who are searching from the Martial Arts League, which is considered an enemy organization. Thinking about the subordinate of the deputy leader of the demon sect, that guy is quite cunning, right? In a moment of thinking, he saw that the young master was free, so his advisor advised him, what if he were to become a bodyguard? Anyway, this is quite important. We need someone we really trust to entrust the task. If the young master acts with the Dark Moon team, I think the shock of being expelled will gradually subside. It's okay. I'm over 70 years old and it took me a while to give birth, so I'm a bit worried, but it's okay to do as you wish. Outside, Tang Wei-ju hasn't gone yet because she wants to see if her father still scolds her. I don't. But after hearing that, it's okay. Anyway, I don't have to stay at home and let my neighbors curse me. Looking at that pile of rubble, I thought that this was the last chance to have a chance. Only after pleasing my father can I hope to return to the position of a small family head. Let's temporarily ignore the 5 sons of the Namgung family, drop out of school and return to the countryside. We have to build a career from here. At some point, when he is determined to hold a grudge in martial arts, he will find Namgung Mae to pay in full. The transport group of Tangmon in Sichuan quietly walked out of the dangerous delivery area. The next morning at the medical clinic of the Martial Arts Transparent Martial Arts Hall, the male lead fainted, so he was brought by the wind sword to treat him, so the situation got much better. After falling unconscious, the 5th son of the Namgung family finally regained consciousness. Mae came out. Are you okay? A true beauty was in front of his eyes. Her white, red cheeks were very pleasing to the eye. Perhaps because he was too invaded by the air, he seemed to have misread and unconsciously moaned and called out the fairy's name. In fact, the person on duty all night last night could only have been Rin, and there was no way it could be said to be a fairy or a fairy. The first time someone complimented her on her beauty, Rin almost cried, and the one who spoke was Namgung Mae. But then when he heard that hoarse voice, the male lead also woke up from his dream. Because he was so happy, he was punched by his unofficial girlfriend. Outside, he heard the sound of a storm coming in because he was also impatient and afraid that something bad would happen. While he was about to ask about weapons and all kinds of things, he suddenly realized that the situation was not good. Obviously, the person who just woke up can still talk, but why is it like this now? Immediately the doctor was summoned to come to rescue Namgung Mae. While waiting for Ju Duk-hwa, continue to use dragon energy to help regulate your internal energy. Perhaps if you don't accept Master Ryu Yeon, you will probably accept this person as your master because the level is no different. Because the true dragon energy is contained in around the fragment of pure ice, so at least it doesn't spread to the body. However, that's not the reason to be subjective. You're in a dangerous state and don't know when that thing will explode. Yu Ah-rin sitting next to her was so regretful because her emotions were so strong that she almost killed her future husband. I'm sorry, I almost lost my life because last night the person tried to save me from the ice. Maybe because of this, how about I be responsible for him for the rest of my life? Forget it, you don't have to do that because I've already taken care of everything with my own hands. Namgung Mae doesn't pay much attention because I'm very curious about the piece of ice inside my body. Listening to my master, it sounds terrible, but why does my body feel unusually light? To get rid of the pain, he needs to braid. Your strength must be hot or it will cool down. After trying to stop her for a while, Ah-rin and Ju Duk-hwa had no choice but to follow. Go to the training ground of Namgung Mae snake class and create a basic attack position to prepare. Using internal force. The results obtained are beyond the author's expectations. Yang energy is at a stable level and relatively balanced compared to the already meager yin energy. In this state, Namgung Mae is very confident to maintain it for as long as possible. The cold energy crept into the cathode and began to neutralize, then stayed in one place and did not hold a wild party like usual. This is very suitable for you to move to the third step that your master once taught. The origin reversed to the limit and then reversed the polarity to convert the airflow. It was so extraordinary that it seemed like this kid was finally able to absorb all the pieces of ice and bind himself to deal with it. Maybe Namgung Mae began to be in the sights of the storm sword in her search for the true disciple, and Yu Ah-rin did not know what to think, but anyway, the great credit belongs to the disciple Na Mi. This wonderful moment there was another person who accidentally witnessed. It turned out that Master Ryu Yeon had been running all night and fortunately he was able to see his disciple reaping the first achievements in his quest to become a master. Number 1, Martial Arts. This is so scary, what happened? The master made an evil face looking at his precious student. Seeing the master return to Namgung Mae, he had to try to explain. With her suspicious eyes, how could Ryu Yeon immediately believe it because the time to leave the martial arts hall was very short. It was a waste of time to teach countercurrents, but now the disciples still listened to other people's instigation. Somewhat dissatisfied. So the bandage has been absorbed into your body, right? The master walked back and forth. The male lead had to scratch his head and honestly say that it was all because of the help of the wind storm sword. Did the true energy of the 5 sons of Namgung family get the bandage, also known as the treasure? Of the North Sea Ice Palace. Not only that, there is also the true energy of the true dragon and somehow they all work together to stabilize the flow of positive energy. There is no character in this world as talented as so even Ryu Yeon herself is having a hard time maintaining 2 streams of energy. The joy that comes is too late to celebrate when the disciple continues to gossip. He has successfully reversed the polarity. Knew just being away from home for a little while is like that, so the master asked me to show it right away for contemplation. Just got the achievement. Namgung Mae is very comfortable to move the energy. 2-dimensional energy arises from in the dantian and then radiate a large amount around the training ground. This is the polar transformation that Master Ryu Yeon taught, but only in the form of a letter left behind. Polar transformation is the step in which reversing the channeling is applied is a little more technical than reversing the external cause. This stage is the premise to be able to understand and absorb the body with other senses in the body. The internal energy was so abundant that it was about to be unbearable. Namgung Mae asked the master if he should release it. The master was thinking so hard that he was startled and didn't understand what the boy meant. Using a large amount of internal energy also creates tremendous growth. With the actions of his team, Ryu Yeon saw that something bad was about to happen, so he tried to stop it. But he could do it. What else can I do when Namgung has only done it a few times and is so inexperienced? The internal force shoots forward strongly like the experts who use it so much that it's hard to measure. This is it. Is the first explosion when the male lead knows how to use polarity reversal. I thought it was just some trivial thing, but who would have thought that it was so powerful that it could not be controlled? If we say this is from, you can believe what an expert did, and how can you believe the words of an immature child? The training area of the snake class was heavily destroyed. The forest was burned to cinders just like a duel. Just happened. Successfully created a polarity reversal, but Namgung-mae's body was not yet ready to release it. He turned to look at his master with eyes that wanted someone to explain the severity of the destruction. Hey, that's right, this skill is really scary. If you do it a few more times, I don't know where the snake class will go to practice. Before he could finish his sentence, suddenly Namgung-mae's eyes and nose turned upside down. The body suddenly swayed and was difficult to control. The master had already predicted that he would be able to endure such terrible power. All the internal energy inside the dantian gradually dried up, but soon it was gone. Will be full again. After that, the master let the disciple rest and bandaged the wounds in the palm of his hand. It took 2 sessions for Namgung-mae to slowly open. Eyes regained consciousness. Knowing that his disciple was very tired, Ryu Yeon had to do a quick analysis. The game's passive has increased a lot thanks to the pure ice and true dragon energy of the wind storm sword. At this time, it is definitely too difficult to handle it so that it can be unified smoothly. This the important thing in the process of switching polarity is the balance between the air currents. Although the air currents are usually naturally stable, now the player's body cannot handle the load, so receiving damage is expected. Common sense is like a scratched palm. Master was right. Namgung-mae was too hasty, so he was afraid to apologize. It seems that such a change of mood is also partly male. He had his own reasons. There was no way he could hide this from his first teacher, so he had to tell the truth. The two talked about a lot of things until it was dark and the chickens went to the coop to sleep. Having received information that he will fight Murong Bo in almost a month, the master is quite excited. To be honest, I was expecting the same thing. However, unless I give permission, it can be used. Use destructive skills, otherwise it is absolutely forbidden. From now on we will focus on training the game's body first. Let's come here today. Let's climb to the top of that mountain and then run all the way back to the sign. The dormitory will rest and will continue tomorrow. It is true that in order to endure the huge energy of many true chi, you need to have the strength to withstand it. Namgung-mae agreed and ran as fast as she could. Follow the teacher's instructions so you can get back to eat, drink, and get some sleep in time. The snake class arena now has only the master left, but it doesn't seem like that. Namgung-mae's shadow disappears. Ryu Yeon expressed her gratitude. Thank you Fong Fong Sword for enthusiastically helping your disciple. Needless to say, one of the 3 monks is also present, but he doesn't want to show up because it takes time for the teacher and student to talk. Mr. No need to thank me, after all. I was thinking of making him a candidate for the position of true disciple. From the moment we met after the ice incident, Ju-duk Hwa must have been looking forward to it. But unfortunately Namgung-mae is already Ryu Yeon's biological brother. Don't you think that he can become my disciple if his master disappears? What a storm. I already know that my master's illness is in the final stage. Don't misunderstand, I'm only saying this because I'm worried about your health. Just like my disciple Ryu Yeon is also sick. Encountering some irreparable problems, he partly has the unique power and internal power of the righteous sect taught by the leader. Thank you for taking care of me, but it's not necessary, I will suffer later. Responsible for the boy until the end. You don't have to worry too much about losing anything because it's just one of many candidates. The top candidate from my dragon class really likes it. He's a genius that hasn't been seen in 1,000 years and the winner is certain. It's definitely that kid. You found such a good disciple, but why do you keep spying on other people's disciples? Frankly speaking, Ju-duk Hwa is a bit greedy, but it's okay. Many of these people aren't that bad. Time passed slowly, and a few days later it was time for the qualifying round of the martial arts competition. Hebei Street was bustling with people coming back and forth from everywhere like an annual festival. It's been a long time since everything was so peaceful, but I don't know how long it will last. In the center of all eyes is the arena of Martial Arts League. In addition to coming, it seems that the opportunity to get rich is too much if your wallet has enough money to bet. The opening match is usually well received by the audience, so there are too many people coming. They sit tightly. The auditorium is full, and I'm curious which class will stand above everyone. I think just being accepted into the White Dojo is enough to prove their strength. The students come from many sects. And families that failed the entrance exam must register for Tan Mart at the second base of the White Martial Arts Hall. It turns out that the Martial Arts Alliance's talent training system is also divided into many zoning levels. I'm sure they will all show us some truly elegant martial arts competitions. There's no news yet on which class fired the first shot. The snake class was present early. Their opponent will be the buffalo class. This is also the class with the most debts that J-Gal Mi wants to repay the most. Seeing that extremely majestic atmosphere made Namgung Mae overwhelmed. It is an opportunity for young boxers to compete, but it is also an opportunity for shops and even selectors. The competition will entail many things, but above all, it will arouse the principle of the political faction to protect righteousness. Miss J. Gal said that if she goes deeper into the inner circle, she will get the attention of many seniors. If that's true, then people from Shaolin Temple might also come to watch the match. One Pyo expressed fear because he thought that if the monks saw that he did not stop speaking, when he returned to the temple, he would be full of blows with the staff. Why hasn't Murong Bo been seen since morning until now? Shouldn't he be here before starting? Fifth young master knows that because every night his friend sleeps very little to practice frantically with his senior brother. When he has a headache and is not sure what kind of tricks young master Murong is up to, something else happens in front of him. A few things. People were huddled together cursing in various ways. There must have been some kind of petty theft. The beggar's piece of meat fell to the ground due to being pushed, causing the boy to scream silently in regret. I saved it for 3 days and just smelled it until I was full. Why did you step on someone else's meal like that? It turns out the high school students were also on their way to the ring. How dare you stop me from going to the match for such a trivial reason? Gung Yian screamed loudly and then wanted to punch that unlucky boy to death. With a quick mouth, he is also clever. The warrior of the White Dojo is trying to kill a poor beggar, everyone. No matter how much he screams, the class leader of the Buffalo class is still unmoved by many things. Curious eyes. When he was about to achieve his plan, fortunately one Pyo was disgusted and took action. Gung Yian turned around and cursed anyone who dared to stop him from teaching the beggar. This lesson. Shaolin disciples realized that they should keep quiet so that in case the monks came to watch, they would avoid being scolded. How miserable are these snake-like class? One Pyo's arm was pushed away. Why do you guys interfere? Do you want to die before the match starts? The question sounds a bit scary, but it's not enough to scare everyone. This time one Pyo stood up on behalf of the whole class to talk about morality. His actions just wanted to remind there is no living person in this world who wants to die. Although it's a bit fussy and lengthy, it somehow makes the Buffalo class forget the beggar. You bastard are mocking me first. Is the discussion of the people of the world correct? Hyoger quickly advised Big Brother, there are too many people here. These guys are still opponents in the qualifying round, we also need to warm up. Gung Yian found his brother's analysis a bit reasonable because if there's a fight, there's no need for a dog master, people will immediately report to Martial Arts League. Both bastards left but did not forget to make an appointment to take care of everything. There are indeed many fates. One Pyo opened his mouth and stuck out his tongue to annoy him while Namgung Mae went to the scene of the incident. He asked about the little beggar boy who was whispering on the ground because he regretted the piece of meat he had saved for 3 days that he had not eaten. Thank you, sir, for helping me. I know how to repay you for saving my life. Since I already missed it, could you please help me in the end? It sounds a bit blunt, but since I've done it, I have to give it a go. Later, the male lead led the hungry boy around dozens of food stalls. Since enrolling in school, I've been able to save money. Quite good, but now it's empty because of strangers. After eating until full, he asked for a few more coins to survive until tomorrow. Ah Joan knelt down to thank the young hero. Thanks to the day, the beggar deserved it. Only with this love will I not starve to death. Surely one day I will pay back the debt. Beggars, when will you be able to pay? Namgung Mae regretfully waved his hand. It's okay, you're full, then I'm happy. On the other side, after Gal Mi finished speaking, she also urged the whole class to hurry up because they might be late. Going inside, the people were excited to dance, and there were many strange martial artists who also came to watch. Master Ryu Yeon sat in the coach's position and had been waiting for a long time because this was also a meaningful day for him. Seeing the children who loved their master smile with satisfaction, they waited forever. The whole class was full, but Morong Bo still didn't know where he was at this time. The atmosphere is so exciting, it's just the qualifying round, but there are already so many people. Namgung Mae is very curious to see how the other classes have prepared. Just thinking, he turned to his opponent. The face is where the snake class is sitting waiting for their turn to fight. Not only the opponents of the qualifying round, but other classes are also waiting. There are quite a few outstanding members from the 9 sects and the clan seems talented. The ability is not inferior to Morong Bo. The format of the first round is to play in teams, so the whole class must be present. If just one member is missing, it will be considered as not a match and will be immediately defeated. Immediately, the horse class will fight with the goat class. Then the next match will be between the snake class and the buffalo class as on the announced list. Due to the feud from the previous round, the faces of the members of that class are the same. Very unpleasant. Namgung Mae really doesn't know what he did to make them frown like that. The opening moment of the White Dojo's qualifying martial arts competition has arrived. Master Gu Mok Ho majestically walked up to the podium to deliver a speech. Even though it's not the final yet, everyone is welcome to come watch the match here. The qualifying period will be extended in 2 days with a knockout format. The event that everyone has been waiting for so long. I asked for permission to begin. The horse class and the goat class quickly stepped into the ring. Very quickly the names of the 2 classes were announced. Went straight up in the joy of the audience. It was the opening match, so surely every class really wanted to win. That would help them gain more confidence if they entered the next round. According to Master Ryu Yeon was watching and asked the whole class where Morong Bo had gone. If anyone knows, please quickly call him back here. Since a few days ago he and his assistant Namgung Il often disappearing without a trace. Seeing Gal Mi say that Ryu Yeon felt very interesting, surely the 2 of them were plotting with each other. Above, the match was held in a breeze. Because it seems like Ji Pyong's goat class is a bit weak. Do you remember what I taught you since you entered the White Dojo to study? The whole class said yes in unison because each individual has greatly improved their own abilities. There may be unexpected actions that the teacher will carefully advise. Class the snake roared again. If in that situation we would definitely destroy the team spirit of our opponents. Just after saying a few words, the opening match of the annual martial arts qualifying round had ended. Class the horse class was the winner because the goat class was too weak to stand the heat. The teacher of the pig class above turned around and then announced that the next ones were the snake class and the buffalo class. In Nam's eyes Gung Mae is showing tension deep inside. He knows he needs to concentrate on the qualifying round to get to the finals. However, the difficulty here is that the Morong guy is practicing all the time. The knight hasn't come back yet. As soon as he finished mentioning it, Morong Bo immediately appeared. He apologized to the teacher for being a little late. His body was covered in wounds and he was still wearing iron bracelets on his arms. Proving that the intensity that Namgung Il gives is too harsh. Pay close attention, the sandalwood is molded to fit the size of Morong Bo. With all the limbs, you have to imagine what horrors that he has been through this before. I knew it was terrible, but I was really surprised at Mr. Morong's physical and martial arts changes. That further showed that the senior brother really wanted Namgung Mae to pack his bags and go home with him. Every time the snake class takes a break, Namgung Il always asks Morong Bo to practice without taking a break even for a moment. All the members are full, so Master Ryu Yeon has to come up with a planned fight against the buffalo class. The team leader is also chosen as Eun Ryong for the death potion. She will directly give orders to each member during the fight. It seems that this announcement is too unexpected. Neither Morong Bo nor Jae-gal Mi. Before that, everyone had a secret vote and decided at the master's place. After returning from places related to the explosive petition Ryu Yeon created, that means gathering the snake class. Of course, this vote will be based specifically on the opinion data from the members. If there are 5 people in the class, the person who will be the group leader will definitely have 2 votes. When looking at the paper, it's quite confusing because Morong Bo, Jae-gal Mi, Namgung Mae are all 1 and Eun Ryong is 2. The Shaolin disciple seems to have missed it. Before that result, the 2 people who stood out the most, the class doesn't want it in their hearts. Even the person who was chosen doesn't understand the reason why. It's difficult to know who elected to sell, but it's still necessary to congratulate them on their death after a long time. Practice. Namgung Mae and Won Pyo were very supportive of this result. Eun Ryong at that time repeatedly waved her hand and refused. I believe you will do well because you are always our strong rear. A monk in Shaolin said that a person who always helps others is an honest person. Jae-gal Mi also went to congratulate her, but deep down she was quite upset. In terms of her intellectual and martial arts abilities, this girl surpasses Eun Ryong in many aspects. Of course, there is also the moral and lifestyle aspect. Only Morong Bo objected. He thought that if this person commanded, the whole class would be ruined. It was decided that if you don't like it, you have to like it, so Eun Ryong also accepted. Sorry, in the future I will act seriously in accordance with my position. Morong Bo is right, we need to change to become if you should be strong, tell the members so they will listen. Now that we have chosen a group, from now on you will follow Eun Ryong's instructions. The whole class chanted the slogan in unison. But Namgung Mae was startled. He wondered who the crazy person voted for him according to that poll. Regardless of who it was, the game ahead is now. The main goal is to destroy opposing ranks and turning it into hand-to-hand combat. Based on the characteristics of the Buffalo group, they will deploy attacks on the ground. According to the words, Jae-gal Mi means yes, let them out and disrupt the formation. Master Ryu Yeon felt very satisfied because it was so accurate. Based on the rule of wood overcoming earth, how could earth be ignored? Won Pyo broke the precepts again when I want to give my opinion on tearing apart the buffalo layer, but probably no one cares much. After that, the discussion ended and the members went up onto the field. Master Gui Mok Ho still firmly took on the role of MC but rarely commented. The second match in the qualifying round begins. The battle is between the buffalo class and the snake class. Yang San observes and calculates that considering the strength of martial arts, he only needs to grab Morong Bo's neck and the rest will leave. Go. I will deal with that bastard behind you guys, just make them look bad. They all screamed after receiving the order, corresponding to every member's stupid name. The corn came out healthy and brown. Previously, Gung Yeon was dismissed as group leader, so he was quite bitter about Namgung Mae on the street. Yang San reminded the juniors that the true strength of the class is the attacks from ground. Team spirit is up for everyone and the battle will begin without forming a formation. Everyone please advance. Above the jury podium, Pig class master Gui Mok Ho also appeared the signal for battle. The snake class already had a strategy planned out from the beginning by team leader Eun Ryong. 4 people flew up high after Jae-gal Mi's voice. The solid wall is Won Pyo. The last support is Eun Ryong and the remaining 3 are the leading spearhead. The clan move is played to help teammates get the best position at the top. Fruit is the most anticipated battle in the qualifying round on the opening day. The pressure has been significantly reduced, so to some extent we can see good signs. Namgung Mae is happy to have the players. Team like this. I think I need to remind everyone not to let the other class regain their balance on the ground, it would be too slow. The Buffalo class moves in a unified manner, creating an infinite balance of balance. Both are sure. The staff in Shaolin said the gang can do well, but it's far different from what Won Pyo applies. You can't defeat our class with that cowardly trick. Having said that, Yang San ordered his juniors to turn the situation around. The entire Buffalo team relaxed and began to create a pincer situation. The current formation followed the locality in front of the group that had received the meal. 2 younger sisters, on both sides. There are Hyo-gur and Gung Yeon to take care of Won-pyo and Marang-bo, and the last 3 guys will chew the heads of the 5 sons of the Nam-gung family. Considering that they have practiced too many times, so putting the opponent in this situation is not surprising. There is no clear goal and the Buffalo class's motto is to become a unified whole. The 5 members immediately approached and attacked. Like a storm, the tough class knew how to defend themselves. Knowing that the squad was surrounded, the group leader intentionally used hidden weapons to open an escape route for the members. Eun Ryong shot 3 darts to remove the first blocking position where the group of buffaloes stands. It seems that the plan is very good but the actions of the girl are not very feasible. The health of the buffaloes is being exploited. Significant use and all disadvantages do not exist. We have to create a way out by focusing on one point, J-Gal-Mi shouted to remind Won-pyo. Shaolin Master quickly understood and withdrew. The 3 areas of the stick are available at the waist up. He alone rushed into the formation of 2 Buffalo class members. The remaining people fought and moved behind Won-pyo. It sounded quite safe and did not encounter any problems. Snakes can run freely. No one in the Buffalo class took action. It seems like they wanted to do so. Twisting the weapon in his hand, Won-pyo was satisfied because he thought they were afraid he would hit his head, so they didn't dare. Ho-he. Maybe the boy was wrong because the 2 most important blocking points, Nam-gung-mae and Marang-bo, are now beyond help. Yong-san calculated the miracle when everything went right. Prediction. Immediately the whole class of buffaloes jumped in to attack Marang-bo because he was sure that this person was his only strong point. 10 years of punching him but still did not see him resist or intend to dodge the attack. In just a moment, the group's second and third group of buffaloes was broken into pieces. From the group leader to the members, they screamed miserably because they underestimated their strength. Who would have thought this? The continuous scale was destroyed in just a few blows, causing even the snake class to widen their eyes in surprise. Just giving each person a Marang-bo punch completely brought victory this time. Luckily there was none. If not, I would have killed everyone. Backtrack a bit. When the 2 snake class people were about to be beaten,